counting down the days. The future feels so distant. A lot of things have changed, and few have been resistant. Is moving, and the power you misused will soon be your undoing. We'll give you what you need, though not quite what you were meaning. New machine. So lay waste to all we've made for your corporate palisade. You won't automate our roles if we digitize our souls. A new force will intervene, half human, half machine, and no enterprise on earth will make us kneel to your counting down the days. The future feels so distant. A lot of things have changed, and few have been resistant.
All right, welcome to the Decentralist again. What am I doing? Oh yeah. Digitizer souls. Hello, Tony. smooth mix. You're listening to 95.8 DJ Andrew Moore. I think that's about the right volume, right? You're listening to the late night evening smooth synthwave mix with your local DJ Andrew Moore. Hello Robin, hello Shirley, hello Marcus, hello Chris, hello Master J. I'm going to take my shoes off 1 second. You can't live stream with shoes on, that's just, what am I, savage? This is taking off shoe ASMR. How you guys doing tonight? Good evening, Lions. So this is the last Decentralist of the week, and the next time we do one on Sunday, I'll be in Warsaw. And I've ordered a few bits and bobs. I've got to go back to the UK briefly once I'm back in Warsaw. So not this coming weekend. The weekend after, I'm going to pop back to the UK, grab some things, see a friend briefly, and I'm going to bring back some upgrades. So a better mini PC. Not hugely better, because it's still a mini PC. There's only so good you can get with a mini PC, but it's like a lot more powerful, and I'll be able to do everything I want to do with the live stream. And I've also got two 15.6 inch portable monitor display things. I've got one down here. It's like 100 quid, right? Nothing too crazy. And I've got them on these arms. I'm gonna put them on either side, and that's for when we start trading properly, because then I'll have one with, well, just lots of beautiful different displays. Chris says it's 1 p.m. here. Oh, whereabouts are you, Chris? Obviously in America or Canada. Robin says, how many Lions are founders? Well, there's only 25 that's been sold, so hey you. And there's a couple of you who snapped up too. I put an email out to everyone right at the end, and I said there's a couple left, and so a couple of you snapped up too. But that means that there is officially 23 founders. 23 founders. Oh, but then you've also got to include you got to include me. Can I join the founders? Is that all right, guys? Can I be a founder? What do you guys think? You guys are the gatekeepers now.
But it's looking like this is turning into what's called a running flat correction.
This is what Martin did. Martin's done some fancy stuff on the old TikToks and Instagrams. Hang on. Don't know if that's going to focus. Is that going to focus? Come on, camera. There you go. So Martin's done that. I don't know. Yeah, that's Instagram. So we are going to be upping our game. Like, the plan is to, because I'm doing live streams every single day, and there's little snippets. There's like, I say something which is kind of alright, and I show something that's kind of interesting. So there's like a, you know, and also once I get settled in Warsaw, I want to be able to commit to like making at least a couple of videos a week, you know, to camera, teaching something, you know, just getting the content out there. Because I think what I've got is pretty valuable, pretty unique. And yeah, so just getting it out there, build the community, build the King Silver ecosystem. Yeah, Robin saw it. Yeah, nice one. Scott says, sure, we'll let you be a founder. Oh, thanks, man. Marcus says $2,000. Oh man, you guys strike a hard price, man. All right, so we'll get into Bitcoin in a second. Oh, that was it. So, okay. So yesterday, remember I said that maybe we can do the raffle thing today. I was going to do it, right? I was getting ready to send the email out, but then I remembered that 2 people paid in crypto, and so they didn't order through that order page, so I don't have their email address. So I reached out to both of them, and I got one guy who replied with his email address, and one guy still hasn't replied yet. So I thought, you know what, just to make it right, because it'd be cool if we're all here, you know? And we're not all here. There's like 11 people watching, and there's 23 founders. And I haven't done an announcement. I haven't like put the email out. So look, since I'm going to Warsaw in 2 days, I'm a bit scatterbrained at the moment because I'm just sort of just like organising the move and all that kind of stuff. So let me get to Warsaw, just get myself reset up again, get myself settled, and then I'll put out. Well, I'll do a poll in the network. In order. I will create the Founders Club space in the network, and then in that space, I'll create a poll, and you can vote on the the evening where you want to do that raffle. You don't have to attend, you know, but it'd be fun if you did. So I think that'd be the right order to do it. And I haven't had any time to think about the new name. I've just had no time. So I think on the other side of Warsaw, then we'll get into it then. It's not super important, obviously, but it's something that we can brainstorm together, come up with ideas. Is there anything else I need to tell you guys before we get into Bitcoin? Anything else? Are you guys interested in like the technology of King Silver, like the tech that we are looking at as potentially, you know, as a potential platform or technology to build King Silver on? Master J says, let's look at the tech. Well, we haven't decided yet, but one of my tech advisors, last week, Scott says yes as well. He showed me something. I can show you guys now, just briefly. We won't go too deep into it. Where is it? I've got so many tabs open. Give me a sec. I've got like 1,000 tabs. Where the hell did I put? Oh, it's back here somewhere. There it is. Okay, now this might not be of interest to you guys. So obviously you've all heard of Ethereum, you know, you've all heard, I don't know how deep a lot of your knowledge is. You know, there's like there's projects which are building applications, games, you know, whatever, on top of blockchains like Ethereum, etc. And then you've got your Ethereums, your Polkadots, your actual blockchains. And you've heard of lots, again, I don't know how long you guys have been in this for, but you might have heard of, you know, Ethereum killers, and there's been God knows how many Ethereum killers, like, oh, it's the new Ethereum, it's the new improved Ethereum, blah, 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 blah. And most of those Ethereum killers killed nothing. And so what's interesting about King Silver, Robin says, you mentioned that you were going to create a separate space for founders. I'm keen on that. Yeah. It's the Founders Club. And I mean, if you guys can think of a better name for it, I'm down for it. But Founders Club sounds pretty on the nose. So yeah, I'm going to create the Founders Club, and I'll get you guys all inside, and that's where we'll, you know, do all of our secret like Illuminati stuff. We'll have to wear like we'll have to get special robes. We've got an invents a handshake, like a kind of a special like little kind of handshake thing, and then when we see each other in public, we can shake each other's hands and he's in the Founders Club. Maybe we need to have some kind of logo, branded into our flesh, you know, something like that. You guys can think of some stuff we need to do, some chants that we need to be able to sing. But yeah, and so I've been in this space since 2016, and so I've seen certain technologies kind of rise, and one of the, pardon me, that's another thing that I've ordered. No longer will you be able to hear all these little touches, because I've ordered a boom arm shock mount, and so all of the noise from me tapping my the desk and all that stuff, that'll be hidden, so it'll be much better quality for you guys. And in toward the end of 2017, that's when I first found a project called the stream ASMR value will go down. Yeah, I hadn't considered that, but I can make up for it by eating blueberries really close, you know, really close to the mic. So if you guys have any ASMR desires, we can get them satisfied, baby. So at the end of 2017, I found a project called Constellation. You might have heard me talk about this before, but Constellation, well, first I found a project called Hashgraph, and Hashgraph looked really, really exciting because it wasn't actually blockchain. It was a type of distributed ledger technology called an acyclic directed graph. And it just works differently, the way that it perpetuated distributed data, essentially. And I thought it was, you know, I looked into it and I thought it was really, really interesting. But what I didn't like about it was run by this, I forget what the company was called, Shield something. I can't remember. But I remember when I found out that their governance was totally centralized, and there was this board of governors, and there was like these, and it just didn't, and also to use Hashgraph you needed a license, and I was like, this is not decentralized distributed ledger technology. So, and then I found Constellation, and Constellation were essentially a direct acyclic graph that were decentralized, and I found them at the end of 2017. And then stayed in touch with those guys, and then eventually, I think this was 2020 or something like that. I think maybe 2019. I forget the order. I think 2020. I ended up on I was on their first accelerator program. King Silver was on their first accelerator program, and I really, really like what Constellation are doing. I really like the technology. And so I was kind of, you know, leaning towards we could build on Constellation. But the thing about King Silver is the mechanics aren't like crazy complicated. And so really we are technology agnostic. We can choose whatever we want. You know, we could build on Ethereum. We could build on Polkadot. We could build on Polygon, and there's these more sort of fringe projects like Constellation that we could build on, and there's pros and cons for each of them. But then my tech advisor, he's a CTO in a blockchain company, and he pointed me to this. This is a new technology, and what's interesting is that where you've got blockchains like Ethereum, which are kind of broad purpose, right? If someone asks, well, what's the purpose of Ethereum? Who is Ethereum for? It's like, well, everyone. You can build anything, any kind of distributed ledger, distributed application, decentralized application. You can build anything like that. And then so there's been many projects that have built what they deem to be improved broad blockchains. They say, oh, we're faster than Ethereum, or we're more scalable than Ethereum, etc., etc., etc. But they're still broad, and that's fine. But what's kind of really interesting, and again, I haven't looked into this too much. Like I think the docs is here. I've opened the docs, and maybe you guys can have a look. But the project is called, I'm going to assume it's pronounced Sai. What do you guys think? Sai, Sai. Sai, SEI. So it's SciNetwork.io. Right, SEI network.io. And what's really interesting about this, and the reason why my advisor pointed it out, is this is technology that has been designed from scratch to serve a very specific function, serving a very specific sector, right? That have very kind of specific requirements. So let me just, as I read this, you kind of see what I mean. And the heart, other than the investment fund and the King Silver, it's not a stable coin, but it's got stable coin mechanics, because the value of King Silver is determined by the value of all the assets under management in the ecosystem of investment funds. Apart from that, the real kind of soul and heart of King Silver, which is where kind of all of the investment fund asset managers will meet sort of the outside world, right? We're sort of like the King Silver insiders, everyone kind of in the ecosystem will meet with kind of the outside world, will be the King Silver Exchange. And the King Silver Exchange is going to be a decentralized perpetual futures crypto exchange. What makes that exchange unique is that because it isn't a standalone exchange where it needs to fund itself through transaction fees, which is how exchanges fund themselves. Like crypto exchanges are businesses. Now, decentralized exchanges, I think the future is decentralized when it comes to exchanges, and so they've often got different funding models, as will the King Silver exchange. But because the revenue that is generated for the ecosystem that goes into the treasuries is from the actual profit created by the asset managers, it means that if the exchange itself, we can do zero transaction fees. We can do all kinds of things to attract the market, attract traders, and attract market makers as well, because market makers are the ones who bring the real liquidity. And so that's going to be the heart of King Silver, right? The big vision is the world's number one decentralized exchange, and the most exciting vehicle to speculate with, it is perpetual futures. I think that's the future. Like, yeah, you can trade spot, but it's kind of way more like the user experience. I don't know if you guys have ever traded perpetual futures. It's just so much, I just find it so much easier than spot when it comes to just go long, short, bit of leverage here, bit of leverage. It's just so much easier, right? So much easier. Chris says Constellation will be the place when it's ready, fast and free. Yeah, there's no transaction fees with Constellation, and it's lightning fast. And so, yeah, I've got my eye on them. And here's the interesting thing, like there's a lot of platforms, there's a lot of, in DeFi, there's lending platforms like AV and all, they might start on Ethereum and then they bridge onto Polygon, etc. So just because we decide to start somewhere, it doesn't mean that that's going to be where we stay and we don't expand elsewhere. But just back to this, I've scanned it, I've had a quick look, but I haven't had time to go deep on it yet. But this is the first time I've seen blockchain technology which is built from the ground up to actually serve a very specific function. And that function, this is why I gave a bit of an intro, saying that at the heart of King Silver will be a decentralized exchange. So let me read this. So Sai, infrastructure powering modern capital markets. Sai is the first sector-specific layer 1 blockchain specialized for trading. And it's got sweet transaction fees, transaction speeds, all that kind of juice. Specialized for exchanges. Sai gives exchanges the upper hand with the native order matching engine. Like, that's something that we would have had to have built built ourselves, and this comes natively with the tech. Front running protection. Does everyone know what front running is? Because when all of the data is on chain, the miners on that chain, like Ethereum, they get to see the transactions before they officially go on the chain. And so because they can see certain transactions, they can front run the transactions by doing certain things to profit from, they're getting the forewarning on these transactions. And this comes with front running protection and multiple levels of order bundling. Not quite sure. Oh, yeah, okay. Unparalleled speed, the fastest chain to finality on the market today at 600 milliseconds, all with low transaction costs and industry-leading throughput, and security first, secured by some of the largest institutions in the world. Sai is built from the ground up to prioritize security above all else. But what's really interesting is this is a blockchain that is built essentially for DeFi, for decentralized exchanges. So it's really, really interesting. And it's something that I've just sort of scanned it, but it looks really interesting. Scott says, do you need to be a coder to create a project on Sai? Are you coding Kingsilver? No, I can code a basic HTML web page in Notebook. HTML, body, head, title. Yes, and I'm not going to be coding it myself. No, this is something that we would need a team of developers. This is not something just to the prototype we can knot together, because the prototype is just testing the human game theory components. But the actual tech, that we need to raise some serious money for that, and then build a team, a development team. So that's when we would bring a CTO on board. He would build the dev team, etc., etc., etc. Master J says, building on something that makes some of the work for you and is optimized for what you are trying to achieve makes a lot of sense. However, speed and security are kind of mutually exclusive. And who is the largest institution who is securing the network, I wonder? Yeah, maybe it's Pfizer. I mean, we'll trust Pfizer. So maybe Pfizer is securing the network. What do you guys think? Yeah, so I just briefly looked at it. I thought that was interesting, and this this CTO advisor kind of pointed out, and he says, look, check this out. This is really, really interesting, potentially for Kingsilver. Right, I'm going to pour some water out, and then my glass, and then we'll dive into Bitcoin. But the MVP won't have a decentralized exchange. That's not necessary for the MVP. So the MVP we can build on Polygon. The MVP we can build. God, what was it? I think it's Morales. Oops. Morales. I think that's it. Morales. Yeah. So Morales is like, they brand themselves as kind of like the WordPress of blockchain, and so you still need some coding knowledge, but essentially it has all these libraries of like just stick stuff together, like for example, like one line of code, and that's your whole MetaMask integration done like that. They've got all kinds of stuff, so you can sort of just build your own applications, and it's called Morales. So we can, like I'm talking about like the long-term vision for the truly decentralized ecosystem, but first of all, the prototype, we're going to build it just completely centralized, just testing sort of the mechanics. And then the actual MVP, we can build on something, again, it's about just getting, what do they call it? I forget what it's called now, but it's like market fit. In other words, is it, like, this is something this is why I think it's a great strategy to do what I'm doing, which is build the community first. And we're doing that through the Kingsilver Academy. Because then we won't be building something in a cave and then just putting it out there and hoping it works. We'll be building it with you. And you'll be the first like testers and tweakers, and you'll be like, oh, this isn't right. And because look, what is it we're trying to build here? I'm trying to build a place where anyone can go and have the kinds of opportunity to financial opportunity that is normally reserved for a very, very small percentage of people in the world who are well-connected insiders. And that's not just investment opportunities, although that obviously is where it's starting. I mean, do you guys know how you would put money into the world's top performing hedge funds? Do you guys know how to do that? And if you did, are you a accredited investor? Is there a minimum of like $100,000 and you don't reach that? So most people are just completely closed off to the kinds of financial opportunity and wealth growth opportunities that like a very small percentage of people enjoy. And I'm not in that world. I'm not from that world, and that's what's kind of, for me, very inspiring about King Silver. And this is why the little tagline I came up with was finance set free, because finance is like in this prison, it's being held prisoner, and a very, very small amount of people in the world have access, to they know exactly how to grow their wealth. They can allocate money into this hedge fund, that mutual fund, this investment fund. They can do this, they can do that. But your everyday person doesn't. And to me, that's not fair. And I mean, it is what it is. I'm not playing victim. It's like, it is what it is. But I see that as an incredible opportunity. And this is what is, I think, the promise of Web3, of decentralized finance. And so this is the big vision for King Silver. King Silver as a brand, as an idea, as a community, as a movement, it's like the one place where you can go, and whether you've got £10 to invest or to put to work, or $1 billion, you can go into King Silver, and no one can stop you. No one could. You know what I'm trying to say? It's just you and just all kinds of opportunity, and then also, I suppose, from my sort of journey, my sort of entrepreneurial journey, I love the idea that then in the future there can be opportunities for people like me in the future who have ideas and they want to create some kind of crypto business, some blockchain business, but they're not from Silicon Valley. They're not rubbing shoulders of all the VCs, and they didn't used to work at Stripe and PayPal and you know what I mean? I just come from Maidenhead. It's a little town in England. I don't know any VCs. Well, I know some now, but when I first started this, right, I remember I didn't even know what a VC was. I didn't know what venture capital was, and it's just a whole different world. And there's a world out there where you'll be going for lunch with someone, and they'll be like, "Oh, are you doing a startup soon?" You're like, "Oh yeah, I'm thinking about it." "Oh yeah, when you do, you let me know, and we'll see if we can raise the money." It's like there's just people can just raise $100,000 or millions of dollars over lunch, and I'm not from that world. I'm not, and it's a world that I'm slowly going to be sort of getting into. But I'm not from. I'm just a dude from Maidenhead in England, and there's no venture. So that's my point. So I like the idea that as well as like the whole investment side of it as well, I like also the other side of that, of people who are seeking investment, rather than we're starting off with where to put money to make it work for you, like as in you are the investor. But then I like the idea that King Silver is also a place someone can come to for investment, and the people investing are going to be a very different kind of investor. You're not Silicon Valley insiders who are investing in people who used to work at Stripe, or you get the idea, right? Those people can come along for sure, but it will be purely based on the idea that's being presented, and then it'll be kind of like crowdsourced intelligence. And rather than one person with lots and lots of bias, and he's like, because investors are just human beings. Like, if I'm an investor, I'm looking for something, whether consciously or not, and somebody comes along and they either, them and their idea and the way they present themselves, it either kind of fits with some model in my mind of like, yes, this is it, this is going to be the next big thing, or it doesn't. And I think I've mentioned this a few times. Whereas if that investment is distributed amongst hundreds of people. Like let's say this person of the future is wants to raise $1 million, rather than going to one investor and asking for $1 million, and then is completely subject to the biases of that one person. That $1 million could be raised like from 10,000 people like you who are like, and there's some biases in there, but all of the different biases kind of cross over to something amalgamating a true perception of this idea and person. You get what I'm trying to say? So that's the sort of the vision for King Silver. I don't know why I went off on that rant. I'm sure there's a reason for it. I can't remember why I went off on that rant now, but you get the idea. Cornish says, sounds amazing. It used to take a lot more than one line in the past. Yeah, it's slowly, like, maybe you don't know this or not, but when you first wanted to get a website designed, it would cost you like £20,000. It was like something for only for a business. And then you ended up with WordPress, and it was easier. And then you had Wix and all these like just drag and drop kind of things. And it's just so easy to make a website now for free. And it's very, very expensive to build blockchain applications. But over time, you've got these kind of platforms, Moralis, where you still need coding knowledge. But rather than start doing everything from scratch, you're getting like these just one line, and it adds that functionality. Because they've got, I think the coders call it a library of all these different things. And then it's going to come where there'll be the drag and drop kind of thing. I mean, it's all gonna get easier and easier and easier. Scott says, so are you building a dApp or a blockchain? No, we're not building a dApp. That's what I'm saying. Like Psi is Ethereum is a blockchain. Psi is a blockchain. Where is it? There it is. Psi is a blockchain. To build a blockchain, there's no need. that would be like literally that would be reinventing the wheel. There's no need. And I'm like the level of creativity that I'm playing at, it isn't that level of trying to. That's not, my mind doesn't work at that sort of insane. I don't know. I kind of see like creativity there's like a frequency, and I've had this conversation before with friends, and if you imagine like I think a good analogy is like having a lens, like a telescope lens or something, like a camera lens. And maybe some of you guys can relate to this. And this is not just kind of creativity. It's more about like the way that what you focus on, or the kind of the perspective where you feel is that's my comfort area. And some people, their focals or their vision is very, very close up, right? They're very detail oriented, right? And their happy place, their area of comfort is very detailed, very, very, very detailed. Like if we imagine a sliding scale, the extreme these are the people who would be building an operating system, right? And they're very, very, very detailed. And then the sliding scale and then you go all the way to the extreme other end, and these are like the artists of the world who are just like the ultimate, almost like people see they're crazy, these massive big ideas, and they might end up being like fiction writers, I don't know, literal artists, and they're far-flung big ideas. And they suck at the small stuff, right? And they feel kind of, if you put on someone's glasses, that whether you wear glasses or not, and then and it's like you can focus, but you can feel it's straining your eyes to try and get a sharp image with these glasses, and it's kind of like that. If you ask somebody who is a visionary type, big kind of idea, all that kind of stuff, to focus on the small things, they can do it. And I'm talking about myself here, but it's kind of stressful. And conversely, someone who really enjoys like the details, and you ask them to plan a big long-term vision, a huge kind of solve a huge creative problem. And I've spoken to my friend about this, and he's like this, and he said that's stressful for him. And I'm like to me, the big vision stuff, that's what I love. That's like that's my happy place. And so creating a new blockchain, that would kill me. It's not my thing. But we don't need to. There's no need. There's already some fantastic people making amazing things. Maybe size it, you know, or maybe Ethereum. Maybe Ethereum's fine. So another rant there. Master D says blockchain is moving towards where software has been for a while. Frameworks to build on, to build an app quick and easy. Yeah, 100%. Specialized languages to target specific sectors, etc. Master D, are you a developer? Because you sound like it. But to kind of, before we go into Bitcoin, to wrap up that final thought, how cool would it be if it didn't matter if you had a tenner or you had $1 billion? You thought, let's put some of it to work. And there was a platform, there was a place you could go where not only there was the education, and that's the whole point of the King Silver Academy. King Silver Academy now starts with Wave County Immersion. It's a little course, it's a big course, but it's like, it's a course about a little bit of knowledge that I've got. But the big vision for the King Silver Academy is it's a place where not only can King Silver be a place where you can go to allocate capital and to potentially grow it, but also learn how to, like, how do you discern whether this is a good place to put it or this place. Like King Silver, the vision is it'll give you all of it, like, you know, all of the different service providers and asset managers and all these different things. But then the education side of it will be like, okay, here's how to make better decisions. Here's how to, you know what I'm trying to say? And so because I think with a decentralized system where you are the one who's ultimately responsible, you can't, you know, there's no higher authority you can go to if you know, make the wrong decisions. That's why the education side has to go hand in hand. Scott says, so you are building a dApp that will sit on Ethereum and Sai is the app builder. No, Sai is a blockchain. So I'm not telling you that we are building on Ethereum. I'm not telling you that we are building on Sai. I'm just saying my advisor pointed out Sai and it looks interesting. But Sai is a blockchain like Ethereum. So if we built on Sai, then we wouldn't be building on Ethereum. But then again, we let's say we've got our NFTs on Ethereum. Then there would still need to be interoperability. But yeah, we will be building not just a dApp, but multiple dApps, because the exchange will be a dApp, and there'll be different platforms, different things going on. That'll be, you know, multiple smart, like an ecosystem of smart contracts and dApps. Master has been architecting and building web apps for a while. Nice. Chris says, loving the vision. So happy to be a founder. Well, you're a founder. Oh, I was going to say, my mind just missed it. Yeah, founder. I think I'm used to seeing like decentralized founder with a capital F. Chris says, size building on a fork of Cosmos. Oh, interesting. Interesting. I was going to say, being a founder is like, I mean, I can't be anything else. Like, man, it's not easy. Because being a founder, entrepreneur sounds like, even like visionary sounds wanky, doesn't it? Oh yes, I'm a visionary, darling. But being that kind of person where it's just like constant ideas. It's like I can't do anything else because I'd be haunted by these ideas. And I know that there's loads of people like me who either don't pursue those dreams and they're just haunted by them and they just live in a constant regret and just, you know, because they have these dreams that they didn't go for, or they do go for them and it doesn't work out. You know, it's just the world is littered with failed dreams, and I don't think that's going to happen to me. But it almost feels like out of my hands in a sense, because I'm never going to do anything else. It's do or die. You know, all paths lead to King Silver. Anyway, let's jump into Bitcoin. You guys let me go off on a massive rant there. Let's close these down. And then we can jump into Bitcoin. And by the way, remember I said that this is currently 720p. When I come back to Warsaw with the upgraded mini PC, I'm hoping we'll be able to do 1080. And obviously 720 makes no difference here. But when we go into Trading View here, for example, let's make this full screen. I mean, I can, on my screen here, it looks fine, but the way you guys are watching it, do you think you'd see a difference with 720 and 1080? I mean, if we can pump out 1080, why not, right? Let's do it. And this is 30 frames a second, and I don't think the frames per second is important. Like, this is not some kind of gaming channel or something. Anyway, let's just move this laptop towards me. It might cut out now. No, we're good. Okay. Okay, where were we yesterday? You want to update me, guys? Oh, so one thing I've added today, I added these two pitchforks. I added this one, a regular, and I added this one, which is a chef. And Price is responding to this chef really, really well. So I think yesterday, where were we yesterday? This is the 30-minute. Well, I can look where we were. It's the second today. That's the first. About here. So we just kind of come up a little bit here. Yeah, about. So we'd come down here, and that's kind of where we left it, I think. You guys remember that? So we were kind of. If we get rid of all of this, I think we were. This is set to. This is set to UK time, and I'm 1 hour ahead right now. So that would have been 9:30, which is 10:30 my time. So yeah, it's about, yeah. So literally like about there is where we left it yesterday, and we were diving into the 1 minute, weren't we? And so what we were looking at, or in fact, I think let's go into the 1 minute, because that's kind of where we were hanging out yesterday, I think. Here we go. So oh, that's it. So we were thinking about, okay, I remember I added this, I think, after the live stream. So we were thinking, are we seeing, in fact, let's go to the 5 minute. Okay, so I was thinking, where are we? 30 minutes. So W, still think, okay, according to this, X, let's get rid of this. W, an X there. W, X, Y. So is this a W? I think I added this after the fact. W, complex X, and then an A, and then a B. And is this the C here? And yesterday, so I haven't touched this yet. So yesterday we thought this was an A, B, C down, but not completed. There was a, thinking there's a 4 up, and then, down here, and that's obviously not right. So, oh yeah, I think after the fact, I added this this pitchfork here, and Price just came up and just hit it perfectly. Really nice. We don't need this one. And obviously, yeah, and then Price turned around, and then same thing, came down, hit the median line again. How cool is it though? Again, I'm not going to go off on a tangent about market geometry again. Don't get me excited. But I mean, come on. Come on. How cool is it? Look, Price comes up, hits the median line, turns around, hits the median line. I mean, come on. Come on. Okay, look, just entertain me for a second. Come on. Come on. Oh, Jesus. Oh. Come on. Oh man. I mean, just come on. Let's just give a moment. Let's just pause for a second. And no one knows about it. No one knows. No one has a clue. Tony says, I missed the first 30 minutes. Are we doing that random draw thing tonight, or have I missed it, please? Yeah, well, I said at the start that I thought it'd be unfair if we did it today, because there was 2 people who paid in crypto, and so they didn't. If they pay through the order system, I automatically get their email, and because they paid in crypto, I haven't got their email. So I reached out to both of them. I got the email off one of them, and I'm still waiting for the other one. So I thought it'd be kind of unfair if I did it, and then in case he really wanted to attend. So there's no rush, but I think, okay, let's make sure that everyone knows. I didn't send an email out because I was just waiting for this guy to get back to me. So let me, again, I'm moving to Warsaw in 2 days. So let me just get to Warsaw, and then I'll get this guy's email, and then I'll send a bunch of emails to everyone. Oh, that was it. I could even say that we can do a poll inside the new group I'm going to create, and everyone just votes on the best evening to do it. So we get the most people. It'd be fun. Get most people together, like a founders evening. Charlie says, greetings, Andy. I'm working on a new Rand chart, but I'm realizing the third rule was broken, but just by some centimeters. So I don't know how to interpret the chart. We'll just keep working on it until you don't break any rules. If the rules are broken, then yeah, you got to start again. But whenever you come across a situation, oh, my camera's frozen. Let's fix that. Look at that. This is me in a perpetual state of deep thought. This is what it's like in my brain all the time. Let's see. Okay, now again, I'm going to warn you. The last time I tried to reset the camera, the whole bloody software crashed. If that happens, the stream might stop, and then I'll just I'll start it again. So let's just first of all see if I can fix